Hello. It's Wednesday, 10:30, English Facebook Live, Project Me Live, and this week we are talking about safe. I am protected, and the next step is I am committed, plan, action. Hi, Malcolm. No wonder I can hear myself talking. Okay. Um, Hi, Malcolm. So this week is about hello, IL. 我住咗個位嘅。So this week is about safe, protected. So human brain is geared towards default mode. So meaning whatever we are, whatever situation we're in, we think about what's ahead, what is the other person thinking of me, when I'm doing this, when I'm saying this. Hello, Ricky. So memory in the past. So basically it's a default mode. You choose the positive affirmation. I am safe, I am protected. So if you're safe, if you're protected, then you're okay. So it also is related to how our brain is made, how human brain is made. So in our brain, we have the brain stem. So if I use this to represent the brain stem is responsible for your movement, for your breathing, for your basic living behaviors. So the next level to the brain stem, it's the limbic system. So the limbic system is responsible for emotions. So, and if I go for the further layer of our brain, right on top, this is the youngest part of our brain. And at this part of the cerebral cortex, at the very tip of the cerebral cortex, we have a prefrontal cortex. And that's the CEO of our brain. That part of our brain is responsible for wisdom, good to great, logic, reasoning, how can I do better? So when that part is working well and not under pressure, hello Winnie, when that part, prefrontal cortex, is working well, functioning well, not under pressure, the outlook will be optimistic, very bright. So people at that kind of state will be able to understand that they will do good to great from point A to point B. How do I chunk up point A to point B into steps? So I follow the steps and making things possible. And I understand that from point A to point B, I'm going to assume a lot of different roles. So plan for it. You might not run into all the positive scenario. Plan for it and make sure you go from A to B. So that's when your prefrontal cortex is functioning very well. However, when your prefrontal cortex is not functioning well under pressure, then you basically cannot use that part of your brain. So what is under pressure, what is not under pressure? When your prefrontal cortex is under pressure, that means information is overload. It's not at the normal pace. when that prefrontal cortex is functioning well, it's because the information is flowing very stabily and at a low that your brain could take. Hello, Freda. So this is why we would like to go into quiet mode sometimes and make sure we do not overload ourselves. Overloading just doesn't allow you to go to that prefrontal cortex for yourself to be at your best. So I believe there are many different kinds of mindfulness or ways to do meditation. I developed Mandala Party just because I would like that to represent me, so that people remember me. However, I believe there are many different kinds of mindfulness. Some people cook and they feel very mindful and they felt that's a way of meditation. Some people eat very slowly. Some people go exercising. It's a very good way of mindfulness. So the more you are able to go into mindfulness, the more, or at least go into a quiet space for yourself to quiet down, the fastest you could go to the prefrontal cortex and be at your best and make the best decision that you could ever make. So every time when you would like to say something or behave in a certain way, ask yourself, am I at my limbic stage? Limbic will be emotional. And then the other question is, am I at my prefrontal cortex state? So prefrontal cortex would be the best decision that you could make. Making conscious decision, best decision for yourself. You Google the horizon, you know that's also good for everybody. So ask yourself that. A lot of the time, because of that default mode in our brain, we are geared towards negativity, which is not good. As a mother, a very typical example would be, it's very hot outside. I'm so worried that my children will get the heat stroke. If we go for that mode, our children will definitely get heat stroke because that's our wish. So we could choose another channel. Instead of saying that we would get the heat stroke, we could also choose to say, I am safe, I am protected. Now that you are safe and you're protected, then you don't have to worry about that possibility of getting the heat stroke or negativity. So you put yourself on a positive channel. I'm safe, I'm protected, so nothing's wrong. So every time you're worried, you're anxious, say, I'm safe, I'm protected. My children are safe, my children are protected. So we could make conscious choice what we are thinking and what channel we are choosing. So I also believe that even inside of you, there are so many different voices. I have always talked about the technique of stock taking the voices that's inside of you. Be very careful. Not all the voices are working for you. Some of them are working against you. So again, it's a quiet space for yourself to stop, take all the voices and make very conscious decision which voice you are listening to. Are they for your best? Are they good for you? Are they good for other people? So stop taking the voices that's inside of you. So again, I'm safe, I'm protected. So when you are safe and you're protected, you are not worried about the emotion that you're having, not at the limbic system kind of state. Then last week we talked about I'm enjoying my tea. So let's take a break. Let us calm down, have a cup of tea. Have a cup of tea is my favorite. So I would like to have a positive affirmation. I'm having a cup of tea. And then we take our position. We commit what we want to do from there after our cup of tea. Not when we are frantic, not when we are going through emotions, not when we are in our limbic state, in our emotional state, because that doesn't help. So now the next positive affirmation is I am committed. So what are you committing? What is the position that you're taking only after you have taken your cup of tea? Only when you know you are at your prefrontal cortex state. So I commit to something. I take a position. I know where I'm standing. I know what I'm doing. So the third positive affirmation is I'm planned. So just by committing is not enough. It's an idea. So what is your plan? What are you going to do? I know what is my plan. The last positive affirmation for this week is I am action. So what am I going to do step by step to take myself from point A to point B? So that is the positive affirmation for this week. So always remember, if you're going through the limbic system state, that's the emotional state. I do not have a judgment against emotions. I think they're just label, letting you know what state you are at, what you are thinking. But I do not agree being in the emotional state for too long, because at the end of the day, emotion is not your friend. And it's not a voice that you would like to depend on making decisions. So this week we have 4 positive affirmations. I am safe. I am protected. Don't allow yourself to be in the limbic system state for too long. Emotions doesn't help. So I'm safe. I'm protected. You could make a very conscious choice not to be dragged down by emotions. I'm safe, I'm protected. So if I'm safe, I'm protected, then everything is okay. So only when you have taken your cup of tea, I am enjoying my tea. Only when you know that you are at your prefrontal cortex state, you are making a very conscious choice. Good to great choice. And then you commit to something. Hello, Tony. So you commit to something. What is the position you are standing at? What is the angle you are taking? What is your point A? What is your point B? And commitment is not enough. So the third positive affirmation is I am plan. What is your plan? The last positive affirmation is I am action. So for those of you who joined me just this week, I am sharing a lot of positive affirmations. And positive affirmations is a choice that you are making to choose a state for yourself. It doesn't start from me. However, people who know me a bit longer, they all know that I would like to become the Asian version of Louise Hay. Louise Hay is a very, very famous lady who devoted her whole life into doing positive affirmation work. She's from the US. She just transitioned at the age of 90, so she just left planet Earth. So I feel very, very strongly about sharing more positive affirmations with a lot of people, and especially in Chinese, in Cantonese, in Putonghua. And the person who influenced Louise Hay a lot was a lady in the 19th century called Florence Sheen. She was the person who influenced Louise Hay a lot, and even back then, this person Florence Sheen already talking about positive affirmation, and to me they are all very useful. So to me, it's about making conscious choice of what state you're choosing. And and as you know, I draw mandala, so I have chosen mandala to go with each week's positive affirmation. So when we talk about the brainstem, when we talk about the limbic system, when we talk about the prefrontal cortex, I think at the end of the day, it's just about having the awareness, what choice, what decision we are making. Are we making an emotional choice? Are we making a choice that's not good for anyone? Or are we making a good to great decision? Are we doing our best? Is that the best option? Have we Googled the situation? Have we Googled the horizon? So understanding the brain is just a way for us to be aware what decision we're really making. Why are we having that state? So I kind of want to explain positive affirmation with neuroscience. So this week I try to marry the two. So your brain, neuroscience, and positive affirmation, and try to make sense out of things. I believe so if we are able to integrate all that and then make a very conscious good to great decision, I somehow felt that that's a celebration of your own unity. Allowing yourself to be at your best, at your most optimal point. So this week I have chosen a flower mandala, which is hibiscus. And the flower blessing for hibiscus is I am celebrating unity. So I hope each and every one of you here with me could make very, very conscious choice, understanding your brainstem, understanding that your limbic system is responsible for emotions. That's not the best decision. And understanding that our prefrontal cortex is the CEO of our brain. It's the wisdom part. It's the part where we make conscious choice from good to great. So be at your best and at your unity, at your best potential. So the positive affirmations for this week is I'm safe, I'm protected. When I say that, I feel actually calm. I'm safe, I'm protected. So only when you know that you're safe, you're protected, after I am enjoying my tea, enjoying that quiet space, and then I commit to something. I am committed. So what are you committing to? Committing is not enough, so I'm planned. So what is the plan? What are you going to do? The last one is I am action. So I hope all these are very useful to you, the neuroscience and also the positive affirmation. And have a happy rest of the week. And Friday will be Cantonese live with Q&A. That's the the most exciting part that I like, because a lot of people would really leave input and questions. So it's my simple wish to share what I know with a lot of people, especially in Chinese, Cantonese, Putonghua. So I hope you enjoy. You have a very good evening, and I see everybody on Friday. And next Monday, we have a guest with us. We have Kao Zhong with us. I have invited my friend. He just finished positive psychology in the University of Pennsylvania, and he's a full-time working person, and it's a strong commitment from his part to fly 11 times from Hong Kong to the US just for lectures. So I have invited him to share with us why he got so motivated, and why he would like to do that. So that will be next Monday. So you have a very good evening. See you again on Friday.